This is ABC 7 News, Chicago's #1 news, with Jose Sanders, Judy Sue, weather with meteorologist Tracy Butler, and Roz Varen's traffic. This is ABC 7 News this morning.
Flags were flying and should have been warning signs to FAA.
The Federal Aviation Administration is under fire on Capitol Hill. Did inspectors allow airlines to miss required safety checks? Meantime, another airline shuts down, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded. Now, all of this may be leaving travelers wondering if air travel is safe and reliable, especially with the summer travel season coming pretty quickly. Joining us this morning is aviation attorney William Moylan. And Bill, thank you for being with us so early.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, with a lot of these airlines recently, you have 4 of them, Delta, United, having to ground their planes. A lot of people may be wondering, are these planes even safe to fly?
Well, actually, ironically, I think the planes may be safer now because the FAA has stepped up its investigation requirements of the safety of the planes. So the planes that were unsafe are on the ground rather than in the air, and the airlines are taking a closer look at those planes.
So any passengers, should they have some concerns, though, about these inspections?
They should have some concerns that the inspections apparently were not being done properly in the past.
Okay.
And but with the focus on it now, I would think that the inspections will be done, you know, better and more properly in the future.
There is some confusion about that, especially with these congressional hearings getting underway yesterday into the FAA and these new rules that they have for inspections.
Yes.
How does that work exactly?
Well, basically the rules are already there. The FAA may have just been giving the airlines a bit of a pass. That's what was a big issue at the hearings yesterday, was that maybe the FAA had too cozy of a relationship with the people in the airlines. Some of the inspectors with the FAA used to work for the airlines. Okay. So, you know, their buddies are still there at the airlines. And now that it's the focus and in the spotlight, I think that passengers can actually feel better about the fact that these the investigations of the planes and the maintenance done on the planes will you know, probably be done better, and the planes will actually be safer than they were before.
Okay, hopefully those fears can be eased.
Yes.
Let's talk about ATA yesterday. Just yesterday we found out a lot of passengers were stranded because the airline shut down. What happened? Well,
they shut down completely. Their story is that they lost a key military contract, and you know, losing that revenue, they couldn't keep up with the expenses. Now, coincidentally, this all comes at the same time as these increased maintenance requirements. But passengers who had tickets, who paid in cash or check, they may have to file a claim with the bankruptcy court in Indianapolis. If you paid with a credit card, you should call your credit card company and try to cancel. And you might also want to call Southwest Airlines. Some of the flights are actually Southwest Airline flights. So that would be another option.
Okay, well, Bill, pretty quickly, what's the future for air travel? You know, with a lot of people who still may want to fly this summer.
Right.
What are they looking at?
I think what's going to happen is some of these airlines, these marginal airlines that have just barely been making it, they're probably going to run into problems too, and there may be some additional bankruptcies that will happen. But I think there'll probably be increased costs for air travelers coming up.
Okay, still a lot of bumpy road ahead, though, it seems.
I would say so. Yes,
all right.
Definitely.
Bill Moylan, thank you for joining us this morning. And right now, we're going to get an update on the forecast as well as your morning commutes coming up next.